Tonight we have already done the technical look at AMC. I've given my thoughts on how the share price has been moving today and why that might be. Tonight I'm here to talk about something completely different. It is still around AMC, but it's around what we are seeing now with a lot more FUD. FUD, I'm sure you have heard of it. This is a fear, uncertainty and doubt. Whether AMC is going to take off, people telling you that the squeeze has already happened. I'm going to be giving some of my thoughts on that in this video. As always guys, this is not financial advice and it's just my opinion, but if you may enjoy it, make sure to subscribe. Also, I think it is important to note that AMC is obviously a very risky investment right now. Obviously the risk to reward is high, but it also does carry quite high risk, so be aware of both sides of the equation. But now we are going to jump in. I'm going to be giving some of my thoughts on this, and we're going to start off with the most recent piece of FUD, if you will, that people are talking about. Now this is about those 11.5 million shares that you probably have heard of today. People are continuously talking about these, AMC issuing more shares, AMC issuing more shares, this is going to kill the squeeze. Well, let's have a quick look at this tweet from Trey's Trades. Now, Trey's Trades, you will probably almost certainly know him. He is on Twitter, he is on YouTube, and he has tweeted this earlier today. So first things first, 5 hours ago he tweeted this: "Please get the word out. The filing of 11.5 million shares you're seeing today is nothing but FUD. These shares were sold in late April and they are being filed now. Don't panic, we are doing okay." What does this mean? It clearly means that obviously what we are seeing is not shares being issued today. We are seeing these being filed today, but they were apparently issued much earlier. Now Trey goes on to tweet down here that regarding the 11.5 million shares, all questions and concerns will be asked in tonight's interview with Adam Aaron, which is obviously the CEO of AMC. So he'll be doing that later today apparently, and we can see that he has posted this, which is just reassuring people. I think this is important because I know a lot of people who may not have known this straight away and may have found this news out earlier today, may have been a bit scared, may have not known what was going on. I think that is completely fair. But when we look at what has actually happened, this is not new news apparently. And if that is the case, there is not really anything to worry about this issue. Because 11.5 million shares, they have already been out. You know, they're not coming out now, they have already been out. So please let us remember that. That's the first piece of information which people are using as FUD. The second piece which people are clearly using is the price of AMC, because we are seeing a massive red candle today, as you guys can see down here. So the wick towards the downside, very low. It took us down below $40, I do believe, but ever since we are climbing back up, which is very strong for AMC. Well, people are using this opportunity to spread FUD. People are telling you that a squeeze has already happened and all that kind of information. Not the case in my opinion. I think that the numbers do speak for themselves, and we're going to look at the numbers in just a moment, but yes, let's first have a look at the share price. First things first, I've spoken about this in our earlier video, I'm going to speak about it again. The price is down by 13%. With a normal stock, this might hurt the stock, but let's look at what we are dealing with here. It doesn't take a genius, anybody could work out on the screen right now what has happened with AMC. Slow, steady growth for all this time, massive breakout, absolutely huge candle which brought us up over 100% in a single day, and then we are seeing a decrease of 12 to 13%. Let's get some perspective on this one. The price rocketed by 100% in a day, and people are complaining about a 13% loss. That's completely fine. I know a lot of people jumped into this thinking that it was going straight to the moon and we're not going to see any volatility. Well, for those of you who have been holding for a long time, you will know this is not the case. This is going to be a bumpy ride, it's going to take us up and down, it's going to make you scared, but if you have been following the news, if you follow the numbers, I don't think you will be concerned. And again, that's not financial advice, just my opinion. So that is what we are seeing today with AMC. People are using this decrease of $8 in share price as an opportunity to spread FUD, perhaps to people who got in yesterday and are red, or people who were holding out for a long time like myself, and people who obviously are looking for a squeeze and saw this, and people are going to tell them that a squeeze has happened. That is not the case from what I can tell. And what brings me to, further believe this is information from Ortex. Now, Ortex, you will probably already know of them. They do track all this kind of stuff. And again, we have had a bit of an update down here, which shows us the interest, the short interest of AMC. So let's have a quick look at what they wrote back 6 hours ago from Ortex, AMC Short Interest Update. AMC is currently up over 18% in pre-market trading. Obviously, this was published in pre-market trading. We've dropped since then, but you know what? That's fine. Anyway, estimated short interest is 17.93% of free float. And again, more information can be found on ortex.com. But ultimately, from what I can tell, we are seeing an increase in short interest and not a decrease. And even if we are seeing a decrease, it is not by a large amount. What does this mean? It means that, if anything, more people are shorting the stock, and actually shorts have not covered yet. Now, that is all that we need to know. For those of you who will know what this means, which I assume will be most of you if you are investing in this stock, shorts covering is what we are trying to see, and that is the main thing which could potentially trigger the squeeze. So what we are seeing right now is more organic growth, and from what I can tell, also looking at other pieces of data, we are seeing more inflow and more buys on AMC than outflow. And people are already talking about manipulation with AMC share price. Again, I am not here to talk about that, but that absolutely could be the case. I think AMC, what you think about it fundamentally is up to you. That's completely fine. We can all agree that the company has some good things about it. It has some things which are not so great. But obviously, whether it's a fundamentally flawed company or not, there is a lot of money going into their stock. And the share price being where it is right now, it's a big improvement, but I think it has been kept down for so long right now. You do have to be asking yourself, what is the share value really worth with all these investors pouring into it? Now again, that is from a financial standpoint and not necessarily from a fundamental standpoint. Now here is another piece of news which, if anything, should potentially make you excited about the dip in price. And I know this could be wrong, it's just my thoughts and opinions, it is not financial advice, I must reiterate, but this is kind of big news, I do think. AMC, we're seeing a dip in price very clearly. What I'm going to do to make this a bit more clear, if I can, I'm going to bring this out to this line here. So now we have a clear line that we are looking at on screen. In fact, you know what? Let's remove the Bollinger Bands just to make things even more clear. Just focus on this pattern that we are seeing with AMC, okay? We're seeing a big increase, slowly but steadily. And obviously now the share price is falling by a bit. It probably will fall by some amount more potentially. And I'm going to explain why just now. So in prior squeezes, and again this may not be the case for AMC, may I just add that many times, we saw a steady but slow run up in price, then we saw a big increase in price. Does that look familiar to you? I think it does. And then we saw a big dip. Now at this time, again this is Volkswagen if you were wondering, some people will have bought Volkswagen back here, you know, under $200, maybe even lower than that. People will have bought there and think they have made an absolute killing up here, you know, doubling their profits. But obviously the people who sold there, or even down here, would have been kicking themselves when the share price went on to explode past $800. Whether this will happen with AMC or not, I don't know, but we've seen this with many different squeezes in the past. So another thing which I'm bringing us onto now is the GME squeeze timeline. Let's look at how slow this was and ultimately what happened along the way. GME, we are very fortunate to have this as an example which we can use. For the Volkswagen squeeze, it was quite historic, it was quite big, but it happened about 10, if not more, years ago. GME happened more recently. The situation was more similar to what it was with AMC. It was obviously apes holding GME, and we saw similar things. We saw GME obviously slowly but surely take a very steady run up. Then we saw a couple of red days along the way. We saw a lot of volatility on a day-to-day basis, but ultimately the share price went on to explode. Now, whether this is going to happen with AMC or not is a different question. Who knows? Nobody can say for sure. But all I'm saying is that I am holding my AMC, and whether you will do the same is up to you. But I think that this one has not squeezed yet. I think it's going to take some time. I think that's completely fine. We could be as close as the next 7 days, if not, you know, slightly more. But I think we are coming close to a squeeze now. And after holding out for so many months, as many people have been, I would not sell my position personally, and that is just my thoughts. Tell me yours down below. I would love to hear them. I'll see you soon though. Goodbye.